Hola, amigos. Welcome to today's crypto report, November 22nd, 2024. I think we've been running these for 6 months now. Co-host Josh with us. And for the first time in 6 months, we get to finally introduce Bitcoin is at.
Essentially $100,000.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say all-time highs, but yeah, why not? Let's just hit it right off. Yeah, almost $100,000. So today's session, excuse me, it's going to be a little bit different because instead of sitting here and trying to make the case, don't worry, things are going to get better. There's positive stuff going on in the price action realm. We're trading above 200-day moving averages. We actually get to talk about breakouts, trades that we're in right now, trades that we're looking at, and money that we're currently making, right? So Josh, I want you to go ahead and kick this off. What's going on with Bitcoin? What should we be looking at right now? What did we take inside of TTI? And what's kind of the next step forward, at least in the short term?
Yeah, absolutely. So for Bitcoin right now, I think everybody's got their eyes peeled to the chart. I know I did till late last night, seeing if we were going to finally hit that $100,000 mark. Bitcoin has exploded 40% spot move since in the last 15 days, ever since the close of the U.S. election, and has been essentially unstoppable. Every dip's been bought. It's been in vertical accumulation, and even this morning with a retrace from 99.5 down to 97.6, instantly eaten up by the institutional bid and buyers in U.S. markets, and now we're sitting just below 99,000. Since that breakout, I know a number of members in TTI, including the both of us, were long that at the 73,000 break on either spot or a degenerate amount of leverage, which has worked in many people's favors. I was going to say names.
I have an unprofessionally large amount of leverage into Bitcoin right now, and it's rocking and rolling, to say the least.
Exactly. And then on top of that, we have a lot of altcoins that, even with the incredible Bitcoin dominance we're seeing, a lot of altcoins are still performing. I know one example you specifically have it is Cardano. A no-name kind of coin that nobody cares about, but that's not what we trade. We trade price action, and it's been flying. And the P&Ls prove that. Things like Cardano, things like XRP, a lot of those Dino coins are moving now that changes are happening within the government when it comes to regulations, and there's less fear over those items. Solana broke to all-time highs. I know a number of members are trading Solana since Ripple. Yeah, exactly. Ripple, XRP. You have your meme coins. You have essentially every facet of the sector has leaders that are flying, and we're doing our best to stay on top of it and be able to grab those trades.
I just want to take a stab at you really quick. I've been trading crypto since the beginning of really 2016. I've had my fingers in it. Multiple cycles, have made and lost a lot of money, and hopefully made more than lost. But it hurt my heart to hear you say nobody knows anything about Cardano, because back in my day, that was a big deal. Back in my day, Cardano was an Ethereum killer. But I want to reiterate what you just said, because it's 100% true. We don't really care about the narrative of the coin. I don't care about the tech per se. Whether or not Bitcoin revolutionizes the world or crypto or whatever doesn't particularly matter to me. I care about trading price action and making as much money as I can. If it just so happens that Bitcoin goes to $1 million a coin, well, we're going to make a bunch of cash on top of that, right? So I'm not mad either way. That doesn't mean that we're not going to trade meme stuff, though. Things like, hurts my heart, Cardano, right? So first things first, I want to point out really quick that the Bitcoin trade that we took back at the 70 to 73K flip was not the first entry that we took as a group. First entry we took as a group was actually October of 2023, as we broke up and over the 200-day moving average near the 28,000 range. That was the first real official call inside of TTI that we put out to buy to buy Bitcoin. We liked the price action for a couple of months prior to that. We knew we were in the beginnings of a bull market in the S&P 500, and typically the crypto market, the TradFi market, tend to move in tandem, not necessarily a one-to-one, but generally primary trends are the same. And so we were able to grab that position early in off of the 200-day moving average breakout. Now, what happened over the last 6 months or 7 months has been particularly difficult to trade through, but obviously there was constructive stuff going on the entire time, most notably the fact that we were still in a bull market in the TradFi market, and that's why we weren't willing to go and short crypto. It's very easy to short things, both in the crypto space and the TradFi market, when things are moving slowly. There's this old adage that comes out of this book that you should read called The Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, about Jesse Livermore, and it says, never short a dull market. If you're bored and you think it's going to roll over, the worst thing you can do is throw capital against it, because more often than not, it's not going to roll over. Primary trends tend to continue, and that's exactly what we've seen with the crypto market. Explosive breakout above 70 to 73K. We were able to add in here, And I did. I'm on leverage here. I added above 70K. I actually just added 5 minutes before we hopped on this call, Josh, if you don't mind. Let me talk through it really quick for any of the potential viewers out here. So I'm playing some leverage in Bitcoin, right? Utilizing essentially the entire value of the account to wield a relatively large amount of capital on the exchange for a small amount of capital that I actually had to put up. Essentially, it's an options contract. If you think about it in that case, I can make a bunch of money or I could lose some money. And those are the types of trades that I like. When I originally opened the leverage trade above 70K, my original liquidation price was right underneath previous oscillation low near 64 to 65,000. So there wasn't a whole lot of wiggle room. It was either going to work or it wasn't. There wasn't that big of a deal. If I lost the money, that's the name of the game. But it did work almost immediately. And that freed up a lot of capital and pushed my liquidation price down to about $50,000. So I was able to add in. And the next real stop up I was looking to add in here was $100,000. I'm expecting Bitcoin to hit 100 grand. I'm actually expecting it to fly above 100,000 and then violently pull back. You know how this stuff goes around psychologically around numbers. Markets like to dunk on people that are just there to, mess around. We're not here to mess around. We're here to make some money. But people that don't understand what goes on from day to day, they're going to see $100,000 Bitcoin and they're going to ape in. They're going to want it. They're going to FOMO in. And I get it. Totally understand. But the market tends to punish those types of traders. And so what we're kind of setting up for our expectations as a group here is that Bitcoin will break above 100,000 and then violently pull back. Now, where that bottom is, throw a dart at a dartboard. As long as we don't break below 70K, we're still in a primary uptrend, and that matters to us. And so what I did here, because my liquidation price was pushed so low due to the fact that the profit in the trade is so high, it was at 2,400% this morning, is I added more here at 98,000, and now my liquidation price is sitting just around the same place it was when I opened the trade, $63,000, which is, in my mind, incredible. I have this incredible position in Bitcoin right now worth notational a lot of money. It's very much into profit, and I'm able to continue to add into it while keeping the liquidation price at an area on the chart that would invalidate my thesis anyway. Isn't that how technical analysis works? It's a beautiful way to trade. And obviously, I want to give a shout out to Josh. He's been on top of this stuff. The push off of the 70K range really gave me the cushion to be able to do this stuff. Without that initial push in Bitcoin, I don't think I would have been able to be flexible enough to add in where I have. So Bitcoin, let's talk about short-term and intermediate term price targets. Obviously, $100,000 is on everybody's radar. And I'm more of a conservative price target type of guy. If they continue to fly, that's great because I don't close positions early just at arbitrary numbers, but I tend to be a little bit more conservative. Whereas Josh, you tend to be out there a little bit more. So I want both of us to give a number. In the short term, I'm going to say 100,000 if you want to go a little bit over that as well. But give me a number within the next 6 months that you can reasonably see Bitcoin hitting.
Yeah, I mean, I actually just wrote a newsletter for TTI kind of about my theses and estimations for bear, bull, and base case of Bitcoin's price by the end of 2025 or early 26. And I think, for me personally, targeting around 145,000 by the end of 2025 or even the next 6 months. Rationale for that is, a combination of, TA when looking at trend-based fib extensions, as well as looking at historical returns on Bitcoin in bull markets and largely cycling down what I expect those returns to be, but still seeing that outperform well over 140,000. And then other items like price doubling compared to previous cycles. Typically in the last, let's call it 3 major cycles, 2013, 2017, and 2020, understanding that 2020 had that double top in the summer of 2021. We typically see on average, if you want to kind of take those 3 cycles, Bitcoin doubles in price approximately 30 days from the break of its previous all-time high. We're currently 15 days in. Now, do I think we're going to 140,000 by the end of this calendar year? Not likely, but I do think in the next 6 months, that is the target we're aiming for. That's kind of my largely bear conservative case, obviously given how the environment globally and within the United States has shifted incredibly favorably for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency assets in such a short period of time.
I want to point something out. It sounds unrealistic. $140,000 of Bitcoin. What the hell are you talking about? But it really comes down to liquidity. This is a liquidity issue. That's what everything in every market is about. Liquidity. Is liquidity coming in or is liquidity leaving the market? Utilizing something like a total crypto market cap, we can very obviously see liquidity is coming into the market where it's sitting at all-time highs, right? $3.2 trillion right now. In the crypto market, spread across a bunch of different crypto coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of them, right? And we have price targets just based off of fib extensions with this total crypto market cap of $4.4 trillion and then up in the sky is $6.5 trillion. Like you said, the price tends to double every cycle. It doesn't have to be perfect, but if that does continue to play out, could we be looking at a $5 to $6 trillion market cap within the crypto market ecosystem? And if we can, by the way, yes, I think we can. I'm playing the charts here. It has nothing to do with my opinion or bias. We have the historical precedent set. It absolutely could happen. If it does happen, which I think is the bigger concern, you don't have to believe it can happen, but if it does, you have to do something about it. If the total crypto market cap continues to break out to 4 and then potentially 5 and maybe even 6 trillion this cycle, what does that do to the underlying price of crypto assets? They explode in price. That liquidity is going to permeate through the ecosystem. And as of right now, which is a different conversation I don't want to go down, but the leading part of the crypto market in right now, where we're at in this part of the cycle, is Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance. Still, a majority of the cash is flowing into Bitcoin. That's where investors and risk takers are being rewarded. So yes, I don't think $140,000 is unrealistic. It sounds ridiculous, but
I mean, that's my personal bear case, and that's not even the average return, excluding the early kind of years where Bitcoin was putting in 10 to 20 X's. The average return from the previous all-time high is 272%.
Yep. Trust me, we have the data, right? We have the data.
We've jumped through it. So I'm scaling that back and saying that that 144 is that 144, 145 is that base case, because if we do something like even a 150 or a 200% move from the previous all-time high, then we're looking at 185 to 200 plus thousand and beyond, obviously, which at that point you're going to need some massive catalysts to move price. But like you said, what happens to the other assets in the space?
Yeah,
they go crazy. And
they go crazy.
Where I think whether you're holding spot or you're using leverage, like that's going to be your opportunity to make some really crazy money over the next 6 months.
Give me 30 seconds to talk about Ethereum. Go.
I mean, it's gotten better. It's not great. We're finally back above 3,000. It continues to underperform Bitcoin and Solana. We're talking 3-year lows still, even while Bitcoin's at nearly $100,000. Between the three majors that we can call Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, only one to not be at an all-time high or have touched their all-time high, and specifically Ethereum, not even close. So we don't want to own Ethereum still. We can own the betas to it as it has great days and altcoins start to move. But at this point, if you're looking where to allocate your money to a highly liquid major, Ethereum just isn't it.
Everything is performing better. And you don't really have to explain anything more than that. Ethereum's there. We don't want to own it until it's breaking out on an absolute basis above 4,000. But beyond that, it needs to be outperforming Solana, BNB, Bitcoin, some of the other majors. Otherwise, you're going to be in a lagger. And if there's one thing that we want to impart on you from a TTI standpoint, not just crypto TTI, but from a TTI philosophy, is own the leaders. You will make more money over time. Do not own the laggers. Let's switch gears and go to Solana. Solana's up near all-time highs. Have a position in here. I'm looking to add in above 260. Am I crazy thinking $400 as a price target is out of the question this cycle or not?
I think you would get yelled at for aiming so low if you say that out loud on crypto Twitter. I think people are aiming far greater than 400. And the reason for that is the market cap valuation, right? Some people compare Solana and Ethereum. The reality is they're very different when it comes to their size. A 10% move in Ethereum is a 100% move for Solana, right? It's the entire market cap of Solana. And because of that, you can move assets significantly easier depending on the size of that. So I think the 400 is, a no-brainer for me when it comes to Solana's, future all-time high. And I would say probably closer to 600 plus in my opinion.
Okay, well, that's great. I'm going to add in above 260 for those of you that are inside of TTI. Added in, we had this conversation, I believe, earlier this week or maybe late last week. I was looking to add in above the 206 area. None of this is rocket science, guys. I just follow levels. Follow the fibs, add in up and over these levels, throw a stop somewhere below it. In strong uptrends, you're going to get rewarded in bull markets, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now with Solana. So opened up a position at 206-ish, more or less. I'm looking to add in above 260, and I'm shooting for the stars, like you said. I don't know if I'm sure 600 sounds great to me if I'm holding it. First price target for me is $400. If it continues to rock and roll, then that's fine. Last of the majors here I want to talk through really quick is BNB coin. This is the only one that's not listed on Coinbase. So if you are going to be trading BNB coin, you have to go off of Coinbase to be able to buy this. But another really nice base.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. I know we've talked about this coin ad nauseum, both in TTI, kind of waiting for this breakup and faked out a couple times, but it looks like, we're seeing that now. It finally broke above that 600 to 630 level that it's been tapping 9 times over the last 8 months as it held that really tight consolidation range, while Bitcoin kind of ranged within its, let's call it $50,000 to $70,000 range over the summer. We finally broke through that and then had a little bit of a BRB, which is one TTI specific trading style, where it came back and retested that key horizontal level, and now it looks to be bouncing and moving towards all-time highs. So, that's one trade we love. BNB is a large major cap coin that has lots of liquidity, so you can get size in there if you'd like. And yeah, we're looking to take that 635 and long, see where it takes us.
I like it above 670, like you said, targeting 9.5. The reason why I like this setup is because it's simple. It's not that it's going to yield the absolute best rewards. I have no idea if it will or it won't, but it's very obvious to know where you're right and you're wrong. If you're trading north of 670, you probably want to be long. If you're back underneath 670 and back in the range that we've been sitting in since the beginning of 2024, we're probably wrong, right? We want to be long above 670 and get out below 670. It's a very simple setup. 3 alts. I want to go through Ripple and Cardano myself, and then I'll give you 1 to 2 trade ideas if that's cool.
That sounds good.
Let's go through Ripple really quick. This was an entry that we took yesterday off of a high and tight intraday flag. If I go ahead and zoom in here really quick, I removed the drawing, but I'll draw it like a 5-year-old really quick. Guys, if you're watching this, this is a TA 101 setup. Anytime you get a parabolic move with a high and tight setup, you want to buy those. Original price target off of the 110 area breakout was 140. We nailed that today. Then we looked at potentially adding in on a pullback to the 125 area, and that's exactly what I did earlier today. I didn't time the pullback perfectly, but I moved my liquidation price up underneath 1 penny now. So I have a lot of wiggle room on Ripple for this trade to continue to roll. If it wants, I put more money into it. And if it does pull back to 125, I'm totally fine. My liquidation price is under $1. So I think it's like 90 cents or something. So looking for a massive pullback in Ripple for me to be wrong. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that if there's a 50% move against Ripple or a 45% move against Ripple, something bigger is happening here. I like this above 125 for a price target at 184. And then obviously we know if we go all the way back to that craziness back in 2018, this was near a $4 crypto coin and was just trading earlier this year for as low as 40 cents. So there's a lot of room to the upside for previous all-time highs. Obviously, I don't want to get into the regulatory stuff because Ripple that's all it's about is the regulatory stuff. And you can argue both, whatever, you know what I mean? But from a TA standpoint, it's hard to fight against this 125 breakout targeting 185 and then potentially even higher, right?
Absolutely. And you nailed that high and tight perfectly. And it's been incredible, the outperformance we've seen. We kind of had an assumption that XRP or Ripple was going to be a big mover when it finally broke that, let's call it 4-year range it's been in.
Yeah.
Kind of, what would it return 4% over the course of 4 years, which is kind of unheard of for a crypto coin, essentially a stable coin at this point. And so, yeah, when we saw that breakout, it was pretty evident that a larger move was going to come. And, I know a number of folks captured that. I know I've just held the XRP for what feels like decades at this point, but yeah, that high and tight was a perfect example of why we take those trades and the length they can continue.
Let's talk about Cardano really quick, right? You called it a meme coin earlier. It hurt my feelings, but potentially it is to you youngins. This is a stage 1 into a stage 2. This is a very, very basic horizontal channel breakout into new multi-year highs. We take these trades in the TradFi market. Matter of fact, a majority of the trades we have on right now over the last 2 weeks are this particular setup. SoFi, Affirm, Square, Zoom, Zillow, all of these are coming out of the exact same technical setup. I like it above 80 cents. Price targets at 115 and 172. My original stop out was underneath 65 cents. Gave this a little bit of wiggle room because it's a 13.23 ADR name, meaning it is very volatile. And since it did break out, I did add in my liquidation price, once again shoved very much below where I wanted it to be. And so I was able to add into more here and bring my liquidation price back up to about 47 cents. So if you're looking at the chart here, I have a relatively large position in Cardano, and my liquidation price is all the way down near the 200-day moving average, which in my mind, I probably need to put more in, but I'm going to wait till we're up at the 115 area. What do you like about Cardano? Do you like it for a pullback? Do you like this coin at all? What do you think? Am I crazy?
No, I don't think you're crazy. And as much as I joke around it being a meme coin, I know it's not. It's one of the first coins I actually got when I got into crypto. I won a giveaway, and someone dropped these coins in my pocket, and it ended up flying. And that was kind of my first introduction to Charles Hoskins and ADA. It looks fantastic. I don't really. It's tough at this point when it goes so parabolic to understand where that pullback's going to come to. So, like you were just saying, you've got a great liquidation level, and it can pull back quite deeply before you have to worry about that position. So
if you're looking at, and if you're looking at adding in here, I would probably look for a potential pullback in towards that 80-cent range. I don't think it's out of the realm of realistic, that it can pull back to 80 and then potentially bounce. You were just talking about that BRB setup, right? So what we're looking at here is a potential pullback to the previous resistance, now turns support, and then a bounce up into new highs. I think that if the problem that most people have, but particularly for crypto traders, because of how brutal some of these pullbacks can be in the crypto market, is they don't want to buy pullbacks. They only want to buy on the way up. And we know from 15 years of TradFi experience that 9 times out of 10 your best entries are going to come from pullbacks into key levels. So if 88 does pull back, because everyone's freaking out that they bought the top and this is over and it's a scam, I'm going to be looking to buy their misery here at the 80-cent range, really average in a lot, because this is, to me, a confirmed breakout. And this is something that has shifted 2+ years of a horizontal channel. It's now shifted. It's now the market is ready to send this higher. So taking advantage of it as we can. Josh, I want to give you time for one meme trade. Obviously, we've covered a lot of the majors. We've covered Ripple and Cardano, which are not necessarily majors, but they're more blue chip than not. Do you have something cooked up here you want to talk through?
One meme trade. Wow. Okay, I was thinking more altcoins here.
No. Give me the altcoin. No, that's fine. That's fine. Well, maybe we'll stick with the altcoin.
I see. Meme coins make some folks nervous. I feel very comfortable with them, but I don't want to worry anyone. So 2 coins specifically, we can decide which one we want to talk about. One is a Solana beta coin. The other is an ETH beta coin. Just saying that alone means we should go Solana.
Let's go Solana.
First off, we'll look at Pyth, PYTH. I believe it is available on Coinbase, though I'd have to double check that. But it's breaking it hasn't been around for long, but it's breaking its multi-month base and essentially consolidating above this key horizontal level.
Perfect.
So I think it's providing some time before we see kind of the explosive move that we see into a stage 2 uptrend. So I think right now is the ideal kind of risk on level for those, and then having your stop set, depending on if you use spot or leverage, is below that key horizontal level or below the 200-day moving average. And I do expect as Solana explodes, that wealth effect will trickle down into the Solana ecosystem, which has a far more limited amount of assets to trade versus things like Ethereum that have hundreds of other projects and coins to trade. And so I think Pyth would have to be on watch for everyone. And if you want to see an example of what this could look like, another coin in the Solana space called JITO, JTO.
Give me 1 second. I just want to mention something really quick. Keep that thought. This particular setup, for those of you in TTI watching this, how many times have we taken the setup in the TradFi market in the last 12 months? And it's absolutely killed it. Now, not all of them are going to work, I understand. But when we get these, particularly the IPO range breakout high, remember that setup. This is essentially what this is. Cut the chart in half, let the market dig out a base, wait for it to start to catch a bid, break up and over a horizontal area. In this case, we marked it at 45 or 50, relatively the same idea. 200-day moving average is going to start sloping to the upside. We're within a bullish momentum regime. You need to be long Pyth above 45 or 50 cents. This is exactly what we would trade in the TradFi market. Technical analysis works the same in both markets. As a matter of fact, I might even make the argument it's more efficient in the crypto market because there are 0 fundamentals in the crypto market. It's simply supply and demand. So when we can find these types of charts, cut them in half, buy the base breakouts, these things tend to lead to big wins. What was the example you wanted to go through?
I mean, exactly what you said. And if you want to look to the future, we'll look at JITO. JTO, it is on Coinbase. It is a Solana ecosystem play. It's nearly the exact same chart, except it has already broken out. Yep. So this is kind of what we're looking for the Pyth chart to do, and it provides a good kind of roadmap for what we want to see. So we get in on Pyth before we start to see large daily candles like this.
Yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, GTO or JTO. That's what you said, right? JTO, JITO?
Correct.
Yeah, no, this is fine. This is one of those trades that you get in early, and then if we do end up breaking into all-time highs, you essentially got a head start, and you can add in. This is where the fun begins. Once people, like not just crypto trading, but trading in general, once people understand how to find profitable trades, the next step in your trading career is how to add into winners to make the best trades you currently own absolutely massive. So by the time you close them, you make a huge amount of capital. That's a challenge in of itself. But for most people, they never get there. They're still trying to figure out triangles on a chart and when to buy and when to sell. Now, inside of TTI, you've learned that crap pretty quickly, and then it's how do we maximize the best possible positions that we currently have. JTO is a good example of something where we would enter a 1R position here, a beginner position, and if we break above 5 is when we really crank up that position sizing because we have such a big profit cushion from the beginning. This is where the fun starts to happen. So yes, I agree, JTO already breaking out. So now we don't want to own it until we're either above 5 or a pullback. But PYTHUSD T, I showed the Binance version. Absolutely good. Yes, this should be. Is this out as a trade idea on the market research portal? Because I like it.
It's. I believe it's gone out before, but I'll put it out again today.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, guys, guess what? It's fun because things are breaking out again. I will tell you guys just from past experience, the opportunities that you're going to have in the crypto market, you're just not really going to find in the TradFi market. I don't want to sit here and promote degeneracy. I've been doing this for a very long time. So always manage your risk. But I will tell you that very rarely are you going to be able to wake up to a 30,000% win on some random stock, even if it's a micro cap. Happens all the time in the crypto market. The types of opportunities that you can get just based off of a pure volatility standpoint in the crypto market does not exist in the TradFi market. And unfortunately, at some point, it will be phased out of the crypto market, right? It's a hallmark sign of a newer asset class, just like commodities in the 80s, right? Just like commodities in the 80s used to be super volatile because they were under-regulated. Then they got regulated to death, and now they barely do anything. It's going to happen to crypto too. It's just not there yet. So take advantage of these opportunities while you still can as a trader. Make as much money as you can. Don't feel bad. And remember, you don't have to marry this stuff. Just trade it. Josh, any parting wisdom?
I mean, I think, and maybe I'm speaking to myself, but drink lots of water, get lots of sleep. If you're if you're looking at those charts regularly, it's going to take a mental toll. So make sure that you are doing what you can to stay healthy. And it's winter, so it's time to lock in.
As somebody that's been in the crypto market for almost 10 years now, I can tell you the most important advice you'll ever hear is making money isn't the hard part. It's keeping it. Remember that while you're looking through a bunch of these different charts on a regular basis at 2 a.m. on your cell phone when you should be sleeping. All right, Josh, as always, love talking to you. This is fun. We'll come back next Friday and see what damage has been done. Have we hit over 100,000? Are we 120,000? Are the alts that we just talked about flying? We'll see where we're at. As of right now, though, this has been a very, very good start over the last 2 weeks, and fingers crossed the momentum continues.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us. See you guys next Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next Crypto Report.